The other morning I looked at my wife and I said, "You know what my favorite part of the day is?" And she's like, "Waking up next to me?" And I'm all like, "Yeah." You know what my second favorite part of my day is? Coming home from work and finding a package from Automaton Toys. Thank you, Automaton Toys! Hello and welcome to a special toy review. Today I'm going to do something that's a little different. I've done some Voltron reviews in the past, but yeah, this one probably takes the cake. So we are going to review the Voltron Castle of Lions original from the 80s. So sit down, stick around, and enjoy. Alright, so since I'm a huge proponent of scale, I thought it'd be cool to show you a scale here of pretty much the size of the Castle Lion box. So here is the standard Voltron plastic line from Mattel, Panache Place, whatever you want to call it. So remember, these things are, they're pretty big. It's a lot bigger than the die-cast ones. If we bring it in here, this is the actual box, the Castle of Lions, which is pretty big. If you consider the green line here as scale, for scale size, you can imagine just how big this thing is, or at least the box. So pretty impressive, definitely impressive. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the box very quickly here. A little bit of wear here on this box. You can see it says all the stuff that's included. I have different pictures here of the castle in all its glory. So we're going to go through all these features here and actually look at it. Inside you got them all set up here. All the Voltron defenders ready for battle, which is cool. And just the front of the box. The main art here. As you can see, the box is just huge. The top of the box with the Voltron art. If you open this sucker up, you'll see the castle itself isn't even fully assembled in the box, because the top part here that goes up here actually is off, because you wouldn't be able to close the box. Which is what is kind of cool about this whole thing, is that there's actually a handle underneath that, so you can lift your castle up and take it out of the box, kind of like a carrying case, which is kind of neat. So when I put the box aside here, so at first glance, this is what the castle looks like. We'll take the topper here and just put it on top. There we go. So here you have the Castle of Lions. Spin it around here. This thing is very cool. There's a lot of detail inside of this, a lot of fun things to play with. Here you can see the Voltron cross, the Voltron star I should say. So a very neat toy. And we're going to open this thing up and check what's going on inside. So as you can see, when we open this thing up, it makes for a pretty big piece. Just opening it up like this makes the castle look even bigger. As you can see here with the lion, the scale. So it's pretty big. Actually a little entrance here you can open up. For the lion. You can go in, you can play around with that. Flips this around. But the intriguing part of this whole piece, is on the inside naturally. But there are some cool things here, like the guns. Here to fold out on the tops. Every gun is unique, it's different. They're not the same one of the other, which is kind of cool. Got that going on here, which is very neat. So there are actually more guns too other than these four. I mean, if you flip over these panels here, you'll see there's more guns here ready for action. Bigger guns, bigger cannons underneath the panels, which are pretty cool. But I love that. You know, so it's good to have extra artillery. So that's always neat. If we turn the whole thing around, you'll notice the inner workings of this thing. A whole bunch of cool things that are happening in here. I'll just try to turn it completely around here. There we go. So here, this part here is actually supposed to be screwed in right there. I don't have the screws. I guess I could just get any other kind of screw. What's cool about this, so if you pull on this, you get the image of King Alfred. It actually comes out. So King Alfred is actually his spirit. It's kind of like the tomb room here, his tomb. He'll pop out here and, you know, talk to Laura and stuff. Here's actually the tomb right here. It's kind of cool. It's like a coffin. A little morbid for kids, I guess. Still pretty neat. And of course you got the little statue here of what appears to be a crow, you know, symbolizing death, I would assume. So that's very neat. As you can see, you got some spare guns here. Other machinery. On the inside part here, we have the map. Basically, it's like a map table. And it's where, you know, where the guys basically sit around and plot what's going to happen next. You know, it's kind of like a war room, I guess. If we take Keith for an example, see, Keith can go up to the table, you know, and do his stuff. I mean, which is neat. If you look on the top here, you kind of got a little control panel with the, you'll notice here with the lions, which is kind of neat. And if you take this wheel and you spin it, it actually changes the lion. It's some kind of communication you can have with the lions. Spin that around. There's actually a chair here too. You know, so you can take someone like Keith, let's say, and you can pick Keith right there. There he is, doing his stuff. Pretty cool. One thing that's neat here is there's actually underneath here there's a hidden tray. And if you remember that all the Voltron players, all the Voltron drivers came with the keys. You know, the keys to Voltron. This is Keith's key, naturally. It's black. So they all came with a key. The castle actually came with a key as well. A much bigger key, a gold key, which is right here. So if you look at it here, it's a lot bigger than the usual, you know, the usual black Voltron key. So it's kind of cool that even the castle lines came with a key. It came with the big gold key here. Put that back in there. I guess that's what powers the castle, if you will. So here, if we look on the side here, there should be a gun here, but there's not. I'm missing one. So this is actually the place where this little guy would come in, the little shuttle. This is actually to represent the little shuttles that in the show when the Voltron drivers would go down that little tube skate thingy, they would land in these shuttles and it would shoot them down and then they would eventually get to their lines. So it's kind of cool the way they did it. If you take Keith here, you can actually bring up his arms here. And this little thing here, or this hanging thing, here I'm going to attach Keith to it here. I'll show you how it works. If you look underneath here, you can actually grab onto those two prongs right there. So I'm just going to attach them. So as you can see, we have Keith hanging here. If you turn this wheel, what it does, by turning it, it'll bring Keith up. We'll pull him up. So you can either bring the wheel down like that if you want to. If you want, you can just pull on it. See? Actually, it's a little tight. Pull him down, just like he did in the show when he slid down these things. Then he'll land down here. His little ejector pod, and then on his way to a lion. Not exactly Keith's lion, it's a green lion, but you get the idea. So then you can just take this here and just pull it back up for a nice reset. That's very cool. Just see these little gimmicks here, what kind of makes the toy special. Little things like that. It's cool underneath here, it's actually all rubber underneath this section here, so it's very cute. So yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, with all these little features and all that, I can see how a kid, or even an older kid like myself, would have fun playing with this thing. So I mean, overall, you can't go wrong with this thing. I mean, with King Alfor's tomb here, very cool, a little morbid, but very neat. The actual meeting room here, where we planned all our galactic strikes against Lotor and Zarkon. The actual little mini wheel here, computer, with all the different Voltron lions, you know, that all roll around. That's very cool. The seat, always nice. And the actual dropping station here, where you find your little ship and you go form Voltron. I mean, what more do you need? Definitely a very, very awesome piece, the Castle of Lions. Definite must in any Voltron collection. Very cool playset. So this concludes our review of the Voltron Castle of Lions. So until next time, guys, take care. Later.